I tell you, I am really excited that tonight we're gonna have a good sports night in here. Uh, our main focus will be Winnipeg at Montreal. Winnipeg, best team in the league, along with the Capitals and the Oilers. And you got Montreal that's surging right now. We got a good goaltending matchup tonight between young Kevin Dabach for Montreal and, of course, the great Kyle Hellebuyck for Winnipeg, who right now, in my opinion, is the MVP. I mean, you hear all this about Draisaitl this and Draisaitl that. It's always the like someone said earlier today. When it comes to certain trophies, like the Norris, for example, they automatically give it to defensemen that score, not defensemen that stay home. That's the one thing I hate about sports writers. They automatically put candidates for the MVP and don't wait to see how the year develops. I remember a couple of years ago in the NBA, Chris Paul helped take Phoenix from the ashes of hell, and he didn't even get a vote. I think that was the first when Jokic won that. That was Jokic's first, I believe. Now, you know me back then, I was out of the NBA, so I didn't know who Jokic was, didn't really care. But he should have won four MVPs in a row. Let's be honest. He should have won in 21, 22, 23, 24. Instead, you always got to get the coons and the Negroes in the media and clown NBA players who voted for one of the most laziest players I've ever seen in my life, and Joel Embiid. And Embiid stole it from Jokic. So Jokic said, okay, you can have that. You'll never get one again as long as I'm standing up. And of course, a couple of weeks ago, Philadelphia went to Denver, and Embiid was scared to play that game. And his gutless ass. I can't stand Embiid. So you know, sometimes these writers should just eat. Okay. And Chris Paul, getting back then, was wrong. Well, Chris Paul may have found out something today that the Aaron Fox destination of choice is San Antonio. Interesting. Just saying. We're 15 minutes from face off in Montreal tonight. I'm looking forward to Hellebuyck against this young kid, Dabach, for the Canadiens tonight. So this should be a good game. We'll also be peeking in on the Rangers and Capitals, and then later on, Calgary hosting Ovechkin. Calgary playing very well. Capitals best record in the East, and of course the Stars in Vegas. And then late tonight, Trailblazers are beginning to gel together with all those picks they had from the Dame Lillard trade. Lillard comes back tonight. I think that game is on TNT. Why, I don't know, but that is your late game in the NBA tonight. And I will probably catch that game in progress maybe after the Flames game. So I'm going to be up here for a while tonight, unless it gets boring. I'll be up here for a while. So, and it could get boring quickly, by the way, for me. But I think I'm energized for this Hellebuyck versus Dabach goalie matchup. And we'll do some NBA. I had a great show this morning. I want to thank Laro. I want to thank NBA fan. They were awesome. Grinder gave me 2 hours, over 2 hours of great content. Talked a lot about the NBA. So I hope Pete Alonso realizes that spring training is in 2 weeks. Does he realize this? Does Scott Boras do? Because I'm getting damn sick and tired of the MLB channel. Every time you look up, they're talking about Pete Alonso. Did you ever wonder why Pete Alonso is not picked up yet? Do you ever wonder why? Huh? I'll tell you why. His personality blows. And now you got Juan Soto, who is going to make sure that Met clubhouse is his clubhouse. And he's going to put up the numbers to do it. And he's going to show those guys how it is to win a ring. Okay. If I hear one more about the Yankees and Red Sox rivalry from a generation ago, I'm going to puke. Oh my God, that baseball is so insufferable. Every time you look on ESPN, that damn game is on. Shit. Thank you, San Francisco Giants, for being the best team in the 2010s. That's why nobody talks about the 2010s. You had one of the great World Series ever in Cardinals in Texas. Nobody talks about it. Because that's how these, I'll call them, these goddamn losing fans are. If it's not the Yankees or the Cubs, why everybody want to talk about the goddamn Cubs? Okay. I mean, it was nice what they did, but that was, you know, that was almost a decade ago. But the Cubs are good this year. I expect to be a Cub um a Cubs Reds race in the Central, and I'm gonna take the Reds in that. Can't wait for spring training in a couple of weeks. Francona's gonna have those boys playing. And if you're in fantasy baseball and you got a top five pick, I saw some signs from this young man playing last year. Francona's gonna get the best out of LA De La Cruz this year. So that's a player that should be on your radar in fantasy baseball. I'm getting ready for my fantasy baseball draft. I'll be working on it all day tomorrow. Who I want to pick, who I'm going to avoid. So, top five pick is after 4 or 5, De La Cruz is gone. So you better hope you're picking high enough to get. But back to this game tonight. If you haven't seen neither one of these goalies, they're in for a treat tonight if you're a hockey fan. I'm looking forward to it. And Hellebuyck is doing everything an MVP of the league should be doing. And like I said this morning, the Canadiens, not the Montreal Canadiens, Canadiens in general are beginning to be surpassed by the Americans in hockey because we don't send our kids to midget league like they do up there. We get our kids when they're 14, 15 years old. We are building the best facilities. There's one in Sunrise. There's one in Austin. There's one in Hibbing, Minnesota. There's a lot of these. Michigan got a plethora. Buffalo has a couple. We are developing. Boston, of course. We are developing the best hockey players in the world now, and we have an army of hockey players that we don't worry about stars getting hurt. That's how good we are. That's how deep we are. You see the Canadian people hurt, all upset, uptight about Peter Angelo, Tony Piangelo getting hurt. He's not even hurt. He just don't want to play. The Retnan deal on Friday, great deal for both teams, especially to me. I think getting Neckis and getting Drury fits what Colorado want to do for a very, very cheap price. As far as Ratnan go, I think Carolina better go deep in the playoffs if they want Ratnan to stay. That should be a fun game tonight at Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, I can't see the game because Jimmy Dolan took the MSG network, which shows all the New York winter teams, off the air. So, getting ready for the Bell Center. In Montreal for this one. I'm looking forward to it tonight. Hellebuyck against this kid. Should be fun. Winnipeg the other night, boy, they just kicked the crap out of my Flames the other night. And usually I would want my Flames to lose the tank, but it's too late. These idiots went to games. Now they're coming up with a lot of injuries, and I don't wish nobody get hurt. I mean, I'm not that much of a sadistic human being. But how come these injuries couldn't come in before Thanksgiving? Wolf is playing tonight against Thompson. That's another great goalie matchup. And then, of course, Dame Lillard comes home, and like they were saying out there today, there'll be no pomp and circumstance for him. And Lillard was good while he was around. Now that he's been gone for 2 years now, he's not missed. He never won anything, so who cares? The young kids they got now are fun to watch. They're getting better and better. And can't wait to see them later tonight. Take a peek at them as they host Dame and the Bucks. No, Sunday night we're going to be doing the Bucks in Memphis. Have you seen two more forgotten NBA players? Now the brothers here in the states they don't like Giannis. They just don't like him. They think that he's a Euro snob. You know they're not into. They don't feel Giannis. And John Morant, on the other hand, I think the NBA on purpose is keeping their distance from him. He blew a golden opportunity to be the face of the league. Now he's just a player and a damn good one at that. So we'll be in Memphis Sunday night, 8 o'clock. I'll be on the air 8:15 Eastern, 8:40 tip from the old pyramid. Now it's the FedEx Forum in Memphis. So that's where we'll be at Sunday night. Well, let me turn my seat around as we'll get ready to get this started. Montreal and Winnipeg. That's right. The Winnipeg Jets. Get your fan through bets in. I got mine this afternoon. There goes the great Connor Hellebuyck. A lot of Winnipeg fans made the trip. The great Paul Caulfield. The Habs. They were putting on the jerseys. Right, Montreal Canadiens against the Winnipeg Jets. We're getting it ready. Beautiful downtown Montreal, one of my favorite cities personally. I wonder what feed I watch this game. They're both on the same company. We love him. I mean, he is some player, kind of Hellebuyck. He's playing. He's going to start tonight. Yeah, you know what's funny? They played Calgary 3 times. Hellebuyck didn't play one game. Beautiful night in Montreal. As we get ready to get this kick started. We're going to do other sports tonight, too, besides this hockey game. I mean, the NBA tonight, Atlanta and Houston's the big early game. I know, right? Atlanta and Houston's the big early. It's a lousy night in the NBA. The NBA is lousy, period. At least Sunday night, we'll have Ja versus Giannis. And I'm looking forward to that Sunday night. I'll be on the air at 8:15 Eastern. And we'll do that game. Video on right there. That'll be Sunday night. Where are you, Giannis and John? They are nowhere near the picture here. That'll be Sunday night up here, 8:15 Eastern. Well, Giannis, no one talks about you no more because your Bucks underachieved. You suck. As far as Ja, they stay out of trouble. And Jokic is dominating. I don't think that's the way the NBA drew it up, but that's just the way it is. We had a great Jokic discussion this morning. Jimmy Butler suspended indefinitely by the Heat. And, that Heat, what's that bullshit they call it? That Heat culture. Yeah. Mm. So, yeah, Heat culture. Anyway, as we get ready for this hockey game, which I am looking forward to. Hope I win my bets on FanDuel. I've been betting like crazy every day. Love it. Uh, Getting this started, Winnipeg, and the Canadiens. Let's get to it. Well, Suzuki took the first shot and missed it. It was blocking to his stand, so Montreal wins two face-offs in a row to start the game. Winnipeg drops back. See what happens. Montreal got 3-2 if they do it right. The over-under in this game was 5.5 goals. Winnipeg, some nights they will explode, then other nights they'll take it off, and then other nights Winnipeg is known to climb on the defense. Early evening here in the east. Math. Ovie. Nice save by Hellebuyck. First commercial break on the go. We'll be right back. It's going to be a while before the first commercial. Happy to be in Pittsburgh. Pretty dots. Face off circle. Winnipeg clears it out. Montreal back to the zone. Oh, what a play there. Good block by Hellebuyck. Winnipeg, good play. Winnipeg will have 3-on-2. These teams are skating up and down the ice. You gotta appreciate that. Another save by Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck 37-2 with a 2.02 goals against average. 7 and 1. Ovie misses. There goes one of the best players in the league. No one talks about like Mark Scheifele. Nice save by Marshall. So we're getting into it action. That's what you want in the hockey. Nice save. Out of line. Back there down low by the net. this game get really physical. Fluid, the practice, and study doctors like that. Okay, he's okay. He's been having injury problems the last 2 years. The Kyrie, Anthony, the lawyer. That wants to go up. Gallagher. Gallagher is parked right in front of Hellebuyck. What to say about Hellebuyck? Winnipeg dumps the puck. What's up, Daniel? Danny Barry in the building. Happy Tuesday to you, thank you. Go subscribe to Daniel. As I'm saying hello to him. Spring training in a couple of weeks. Dance Lakers are playing better. Everybody's replaying, giving up the puck. A lot of them. Winnipeg is bringing it out. Hellebuyck so far standing before. Puck shot into the stands. 0-0, be back in the quick second. Ooh. Oh. All right, we're back. We're doing the face off right now. Hall of Famer Martin St. Louis, head coach of the Canadiens. That was a save by Hellebuyck. Another save by Hellebuyck. So Montreal is getting players in front of the net. Gallagher's been all under the net so far in this first period. But Hellebuyck is making the saves. That's why he's calling out Hellebuyck. Another save by Hellebuyck. Ten minutes to go in the first. Cole Perfetti. Played by Hellebuyck in the skip. Montreal's defense so far has been stout. Time on the ice. No score. Hellebuyck so far has been excellent behind the net. Extremely running. But the greatness keep on giving, and that's trying to figure it out in tweets right now. No save for Hellebuyck. Montreal is coupling them right now. Oh, Montreal, there you go. Slavkowski scores. So Slavkowski's playing better for the Canadiens lately. He scores there on Connor Hellebuyck. Shoots a rocket. One nothing Habs. Just like that. Canadiens up 1-0. Slavkowski scores his eighth goal. I tell you, Montreal's playing great defense tonight. Jets got a chance right here. Montreal exchange. 7 minutes to go here in the first. 1-0 Habs. And a goal by Slavkowski. Montreal is playing great defense in the first period, I'll tell you that. Alright, Winnipeg is getting shots on goal. Winnipeg is playing stronger now. And Montreal players. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first. Nice save on Montreal Canadian players. Perfect. Bringson on the bench. 1-0 Canadians. 5-4 you going first. Tampa's 1-0 in their game. Washington and Calgary in about an hour, nearly 2 hours. That's how beautiful, how good I can. Winnipeg and Carolina next week. That's it. That's next Tuesday night. Hurricanes and Winnipeg Jets. Yuki right there, Canadiens captain. Montreal clears it down. All about the saves. Right. Gallagher in the face-off circle. One by the Jets to Party. Montreal playing damn good defense in the first period. Five minutes to go in the first. So, Winnipeg won the face-off. Yeah, Winnipeg won the grand face-off in the first period. But Montreal was playing great defense, and they're the ones who are peppering Hellebuyck in the first period. go Winnipeg. Let's see the score. Kyle Connor with the goal. That's his 30th goal for the year, and the Jets have tied the game. Kyle Connor is having a nice game. We'll hear about it to see Winnipeg. All right, 1-1, folks. 4:20 to go in the first. Now the Jets got the momentum. It was 1-0 for the first 14 minutes, and now it's the Jets with all the momentum. Keon, who's back now, he's healthy for Winnipeg, one of their better defensemen. Right, Winnipeg on the power play. Let's see what happens here. Right. Kyle Connor. Montreal clears. Winnipeg on the attack. 30 seconds left in the power play. 2 minutes and a couple seconds to go in the first period. This game has changed dramatically. Minute and a half to go in the first. There's a minute to go in the first. Montreal is the late period push. Oh, got wild. Caulfield misses. 3 seconds to go. First period, 1-1 in the Bell Center. End of 1-1-1. Oh. Very entertaining first period. Montreal had the first 14 minutes of this game, and then Winnipeg came on strong and tied the game late in the first. So 1-1, and so far the game has been very good. I'll be back in a little bit since it's the end of one. All right. And I'll be back in a little bit. So stick around, or you go do whatever you want. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. I'm just gonna be chilling right here, shopping for some jerseys. I'll be back. And now I'm back. I told you. Still not, they're not playing yet for the second period. Montreal won. NBA sucks tonight. That's what TNT had the other day. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, I'm off. I'll be back Saturday evening for Royal Rumble. That should be fun to watch. WWE Royal Rumble. The question for me is, can Bianca Belair finally win at the Royal Rumble? So, people skating tonight up in Montreal. Beautiful scene. Getting ready for the second period. It takes forever in the Canadian broadcast group is doing that. Lakers and Sixers tied at 23, 20 seconds to go in the first. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Uncle Miss.
What's going on?
Not much. I have a question. Of the teams you've seen in the NHL that are in the middle of a rebuild, who do you think has the quickest path to becoming a more competitive team right away?
Montreal.
They're not. To me, they were a playoff team already, so I don't.
They haven't made the
They're
playoffs.
retooling. I don't consider them a rebuild, right?
They haven't made the playoffs since 21. And they
That
were the worst team in the league until Mr. Miami jumped on board right around Thanksgiving.
and is there really a difference between retooling and rebuild?
When you retool, that means that you have some pieces there, but what it is when you retool, you keep the people who are buying tickets happy. When you rebuild,
You're tearing it down completely.
yeah, like Montreal, for example, they're caught lightning in the bottle getting Lane. Ever since Lane came back from his knee injury, they have taken off. But see, the good thing about Montreal, their fans are very patient. And now they got 9 picks in the first 3 rounds. and they got kids coming up. While a team like Detroit, Buffalo, and who's the other one? Detroit, Buffalo,
San Jose and Anaheim.
no, San Jose completely rebuilding. Ottawa, their fans are getting very impatient.
Would you say Anaheim is rebuilding or are they retooling?
Rebuilding, but they're beginning to see some of the benefits.
See, for me, when I look at Montreal, I understand they haven't been to the playoffs since 2011. You said
2021.
2021. To me, they're more retooling than rebuilding. Even though they traded away pieces, they, like you said, they know how to draft and they know how to sign the right players and stuff. Since their new GM took power, he seems to know how to, what is it called? He knows how to draft, and also he's not overpaying for players. He's paying players the right amount, but they're the right players for what he needs. They're not going to be like a superstar player. These are like depth players, that depth veterans that are teaching these young kids how to uh, be playoff contenders and stuff like that. And I think
Calgary,
that's what people forgot about the Panthers. That's what the Panthers did. They brought in Jumbo Joe, because Barkov was still learning how to be a playoff player and stuff like that. Like, we brought in veterans to teach these young guys how to. That's how Florida became so successful in the playoffs. We brought in Jumbo Joe and other veterans who knew how to compete in the playoffs and stuff like that.
I think
I
he
think
got
that's
lucky
what,
by fleecing the Flames getting to Chuck. He's the one who put you guys over the hump.
huh?
To Chuck is the one who put you over the hump.
Yeah, Kachuk was the one that over the hump. But you agree with me? The veterans like a Jumbo Joe before Matt Kachuk came in, Jumbo Joe and the other veterans that we brought in were teaching guys like Ekblad and Barkov and Verhage and stuff how to play in the playoffs. You agree?
Yeah, to a degree, but when you get 115 points and you lose in the first round to Tampa, they had to make that trade. And
Yeah,
that
they had to
trade
make. I agree with you. They had to make that Kachuk trade, and
put them
and
over the hump.
and,
And
and
they get Reinhardt too.
Sam Reinhart and the other
Hey,
Bennett, Sam Bennett.
yeah,
This sounds crazy, but can you imagine if the Panthers are able, with the contracts match and their talents match, if they trade both Bennett and Reinhardt for a guy like Brady Tkachuk to Ottawa?
well, you are obsessed with Brady Tkachuk.
No, I'm just
I
asking.
don't think Brady wants to play with his brother. I think Brady likes
You
having
don't
his own team.
you don't think he wants to be under the shadow of his brother?
No, I think he likes having his own team.
I can see him going to Detroit, honestly.
I think Brady's first choice would be St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yes.
Does Brady's personality work in a place like New York, like a playing for the Rangers, or is he more, he can't have the media on top of him all the time?
Well, the Canadian press is worse than American press. So,
Sports New York press is about. Don't you think?
yeah, no one cares in New York about the Rangers. They've won one Stanley Cup in the last 84 years. No one cares. Seriously.
That team, the true New York team is the
Yes.
Islanders.
And the hockey team,
Yeah. Or would
I
it
would
be
say
Buffalo?
I would say the Rangers, but again, when you win one cup in 84 years, and the one you won, you basically bought it.
So they're the Jets, basically, almost, in hockey.
You could say that. Yeah, that's a franchise that got its own little set of fans, and you know they always miss out on somebody. Always. You know what I'm saying?
When you look how the Panthers play, what old school team do they remind you of?
Islanders
The Islanders of the the
of the
80s or
80s,
90s?
80s. They weren't good in the 80s.
I was gonna say they were kind of remind for me. They remind me of the 90s Red Wings.
Nah,
They're
they
not
don't.
as physical.
They don't have the talent like the '90s Red Wings. They're not even close.
Oh no, my mistake. Uh, I'm not the Red Wings. They remind me of the Devils, kind of.
You can say that. You can say that. Islanders of the '80s, Devils in the '90s.
The 2000 the 2000s were the. Would you say the Red Wings were one of the few teams that transitioned well into multiple eras of hockey?
Yeah, the '90s and the 2000s Red Wings were real good.
And didn't weren't they good in the 70s?
No, Red Wings were horrible to the '90s.
So they were horrible in the 60s, 70s, and 80s?
Yeah,
Oh, my mistake. They were they were one of the better teams in the pre-war in the like 30s and stuff like that. That's what I meant to say.
yeah. Red Wings
So
were good in the '40s.
yeah, I think they had one of the greater like I think they said I can't remember who said it. They said the 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 1940 I think the 1920s, 30s, and 40s Red Wings, they said were one of the deeper they were equivalent in terms of depth to the Montreal Canadiens of the 70s and stuff like that. And you grew up with the Montreal Canadiens of the 70s, right?
Yeah, I saw all of that.
Was Belleville on that team?
Nah, Belleville was the '50s and '60s.
Who was that? Who was the top line for those teams? You remember?
The line for the best line for the Canadians was Shutt, LaFleur, and
Was Richard on that team?
no,
Maurice Richard, the Rocket.
no. '70s was all Guy LaFleur, Larry Robinson, Bob Gainey.
Would you say the rivals of that team were the 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 Bruins of with
Bobby Orr.
Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe never played for the Bruins. The Bruins was Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito.
Yeah, my mistake. Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr.
Yeah, that was their rival. Yeah,
In the were they in the East? All was Montreal always in the East, or were they?
they were always in the East.
Because I wasn't sure. Because I've always assumed that when the NHL realigned, they were originally in the Western Conference before.
Now, Montreal was always in the East. Toronto and Detroit was in the West.
Oh, so Toronto and Detroit were the ones that transitioned.
Yeah, to the West. Yeah.
So the only Canadian team that was in the East was Montreal or Vancouver.
Yeah, Montreal. Montreal was.
So Vancouver and Edmonton were always in the West. So was uh
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It
And
seems like
Calgary.
the Canadian teams were always in the West, other than Montreal. For me, geographically, Toronto didn't make sense in the West
I don't
when
know
they
why.
originally came.
They're right next to Buffalo. Buffalo's in the east. I don't know why that is.
Oh, so Buffalo was originally in the Western Conference?
No, Buffalo's in the east. You know
No,
why
I'm
they
saying.
did that? Because the old NHL wanted Montreal and Toronto every year in the finals.
Oh, okay. Was the
That's
was the who was the more heated rivalry? The Chicago versus Detroit, or Montreal versus Toronto?
Montreal, Toronto. But more Montreal, Boston was the big rivalry.
I thought Chicago and Detroit hated each other.
They do. But they're nowhere now. And, no one's going to talk about,
They're in rebuild.
no one's going to talk about teams who are not getting it done. And unfortunately, Chicago and Detroit are two of those teams. Unfortunately.
As a hockey fan, if it wasn't for his injuries, how well would how different would the league have been if a guy like Paul Correa had lasted?
How many years Paul Korea played? 10? Before
Huh?
how many years did he play? Like 10? Paul
Oh, you
Korea's
were.
problem was at the time he was too small for the NHL.
You think he came a few decades too late,
Yeah,
too early?
yeah.
You think he would have been a superstar in this league with like guys like because he's around the same height as him and Sid the Kid are the same height, right?
No, see the kid, 6'2".
Sid, wow, I've
Yeah,
always
he's a
assumed.
monster. See the kid's tall.
No, you know what it is? He doesn't look as tall as he like. Maybe it's just that he's very lanky. That he doesn't look like tall. Like,
See the kid is dope, man. He used to be in the magazine. He used to be in front of Muscle magazine. Man.
can you imagine if Sid the Kid and Ovechkin were on the same team, drafted on the same team?
Ovechkin and Sid Crosby.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those two guys don't like each other.
You don't think their egos wouldn't have worked together?
No, I think who they end up playing with is better for them. I think for
Oh,
Sid, it was better if he had Malcolm.
because Malkin is able to step back.
He's able to take over a game by himself. It's like Edmonton right now. When McDavid is out, Draisaitl can take over the game.
Do you think the Panthers don't have that, right? You think
Nope, not at all.
they're more of an overall team. They don't have a guy that can take over a game and stuff like that, but they're better. They're a team. They're a team. Their game is more team oriented than a superstar.
Yeah, exactly.
And to me that type of philosophy is successful in multiple errors instead of relying on a superstar and stuff like that all the time. Because let's not forget the teams with Gretzky, the Edmonton teams with Gretzky were deep. It wasn't just him. That's what people focus on Gretzky, but they forget that team was deep, three lines deep. Correct?
Yeah, but you do realize that it's taken Alexander Ovechkin nearly 40 years to break his record, probably early next year.
Edmonton fans are going to be pissed about that.
Yeah, the thing is, Canada doesn't like Ovechkin.
Yeah, because they have Mr. Jesus over there.
It's not just that, man. Canada's favorite son is Sid the Kid, and Sid the Kid and Ovechkin hate each other. All right, who else but Mark Scheifele, 2-1 Winnipeg. Now, the team you want to talk about but don't have, they have very good players but not a great player, is Winnipeg. Their goalie is their best player.
That was Edmonton. That was Montreal. Their only superstar was before he retired, or before. Would you say he quit or he retired? Carey Price.
Carey Price, he was hurt.
No, I'm. In terms of, he was it during his time at his height. I think he was truly the only superstar on those Montreal teams.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, him and PK Subban until they got rid of PK.
I wouldn't consider PK a superstar. He was a star, but I don't think he's a superstar. I can't stand him though on ESPN.
I can tell you one thing about him I don't like. Right off the bat, on TV, he doesn't respect Mark Messier at all.
Yeah, isn't Messier working for ESPN?
Yeah, he doesn't respect Messier at all.
Did you see how he was defending everything Edmonton was doing, like they weren't doing anything wrong during the playoffs?
Well, he has to do that because the networks want Edmonton.
So the networks really didn't want Florida to win that championship?
No.
To me, I think Bettman wanted Florida to win, but like you said, the networks, the networks the money makers, the networks didn't want Florida. It was Bettman that was trying to make Florida win it.
If it makes him look good, when he retires, his legacy is going to be that all those Sunbelt teams, like Wayne Gretzky said, will change the sport. Mighty funny since Gary Bettman became commissioner, except for Nashville, they all won Stanley Cups.
Dallas won one, right, with Madonna?
Dallas, Colorado, Florida, Tampa Bay.
Carolina.
Only one hasn't won is Nashville and what you call it? San Jose.
St. Louis.
No, St. Louis playing in the league. That's not one of the favorites.
The Sun Belt, to me, Colorado is not considered a Sun Belt. They're more of a Pacific Northwest. They would be.
No, they're in the Rocky Mountains, but Wayne Gretzky said they would flourish there. He was right.
Yeah. You think Utah might be successful?
No.
You think that they fold within a few years?
No, they're gonna be good because Salt Lake City's a hot spot for people now.
I've been saying this, that the next two teams in the NHL might be two more teams in Texas. One in Houston and one maybe in either San Antonio or Austin. Or you don't think the NHL wants to do that? They want Dallas to be the dominant team in Texas.
I see Houston and Atlanta getting teams.
You don't think San Antonio would be a good team?
No.
Or Austin?
No.
How about Oklahoma City?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to go there. The league don't want to go there.
Do you think they bring another team? Wait, did the Coyotes become Utah?
Yeah.
Do you think they ever bring another team into Arizona?
Yes, that could be the other team, Arizona over Atlanta. players love it. They can play golf all day.
How
Have
about
fun.
another team in California?
Nah, he ain't doing it.
Too many teams. They have LA, Anaheim, San Jose.
Yeah, that's all they need.
How about would a hockey team be successful in Portland?
Yes, but he don't want to go there.
Okay. How
Marcus,
about another team in Canada?
he'll never do that.
Another team in Saskatoon?
He will never do that.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what channel I was watching. This is a hockey channel, and they were saying that the NHL tried to do another team in the Greater Toronto area, but because of the fan base of the Maple Leafs didn't allow it because they didn't want to take away from the Maple Leafs.
Hey, look, Batman. The only team in Canada he loves is the Oilers. That's it.
He doesn't like Montreal. He doesn't like Vancouver. He doesn't like
Winnipeg. He hates Winnipeg number one.
So you think eventually he's going to take Winnipeg out of Winnipeg?
No. His worst nightmare would be a Stanley Cup final of Jets Maple Leafs.
Oh, Jesus. I honestly, I can see. I agree with you. Atlanta, but more likely, I agree with you. It's going to be Arizona.
Bruins losing to Buffalo. And I'm watching the Jets and the Habs right now. That's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg owners right there.
Yeah. To be honest, like I said, I want to see. I think I agree with you. I don't think it's successful, but I think Bettman wants to try to prove that Atlanta can be a successful market for hockey, even after the last 3 times failed. But I think there's the team, the what's it called? The group that's trying to convince Bettman.
Keep talking.
The media group that owns the Falcons and the all the pro sports teams in Atlanta wants to have another franchise for hockey. And they showed renderings online of what a possible stadium would look like, Uncle, and it looks really interesting. Yeah. They're going to have what is it called? A entertainment district with a hockey stadium in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. I agree with you.
But like you told me multiple times, no matter how successful, like how much a media group wants a team there, if the fan base doesn't show up, it makes no difference. Hey, Moss, are you able to come up?
I love you, bro. Be good. Yeah, you were saying, Tony?
Oh, yeah. What I was saying is, I think you told me multiple times that it wasn't it was the ownership and the owners. What hurt the Thrashers multiple times is the previous ownerships didn't care about promoting the team correctly and stuff like that. And that hurt having a consistent homegrown fan base there. And I think the ownership that the media group that I think there's a media group that owns both the Uh, um,
Yep.
I can't remember what the media group is, but they own controlling shares of the Falcons and the Braves and stuff like that, and they want
Turner.
to
Turner Television.
what?
Turner Television. That's what it's called. TNT, TBS,
Yeah,
Turner Television.
yeah,
They own
Turner.
the Braves.
Yeah, they own. Yeah, they own controlling shares of all the Atlanta teams, and they want to try to get another. I think the previous ownership really didn't care. That's what hurt the about promoting the team. So I think with Turner owning the team, I think it would help them, basically.
Well, Ted Turner's dead. So, um, I think you have to go to markets where, more importantly, players care. Like the players are begging Bettman to go to Quebec City. I think the next commissioner would go to Quebec City.
But that's the issue. Montreal controls that whole area. Quebec is
Montreal will welcome back Quebec. No, that will be a great right.
also. So you think there the more if there was a second team in another city in a city like you think it's more likely that it would be Montreal and Quebec than
Yeah,
another
Quebec
team in
is
the
like
greater Toronto.
Manzano. Quebec City's like 300 miles away from Montreal.
I thought Quebec is the capital of Montreal.
Quebec is the province, but Quebec City is the city. It's the number one city in Quebec province.
Okay.
Quebec City is like 300 miles away.
No, that's what I'm saying. Since they're so close,
That's
what
not
I'm
close.
300 miles?
That's not close at all.
That's like 2 hour, like a 2 or 3 hour drive.
For
I think.
me, that's like going from here to DC almost. Ottawa going to have some games in Quebec City. Yeah, the fans are all upset because the mascot of the Senators came out with a half Senator jersey, half Quebec Nordique jersey.
What I was trying to say earlier is, uh, you think it's more likely that they have another team in the province of Quebec than there's going to be another team in the Toronto province, the
Yeah,
province where Toronto is.
yeah, but all this has to happen once Bettman leaves. 'Cause Bettman will die before he let a team go to Quebec City. Bettman just likes what he likes. He likes those Sun Belts towns, and they've been winning Stanley Cups.
This is, how about a hockey team in New Orleans
Nah, they can't afford it.
or in Louisiana? Like, oh, Louisiana can afford it.
No,
How, do you think they would put a team in Memphis, or because of Nashville?
they already got
That's
Nashville. They don't need Memphis.
You don't think they would have a second team in Tennessee
No,
like they do in Florida?
never.
How about a second team in Ohio?
Cincinnati's on the list.
How about Cleveland?
No, that failed a long time ago. I
They
agree with
won't.
you.
So Cincinnati would be more likely than Cleveland,
Yeah, it's not
and
even
they would
close.
never. How about a team in Flint?
What?
Or no, my mistake. Not Flint, Michigan. How about where Michigan State is?
No, that's Cowtown. For Manzano, for you to have a sports franchise, you have to have corporate entity in your city.
The reason why Detroit has the team is because of
Ford
the
and Chrysler alone.
Ford and Chrysler, and also uh Oh, my mistake. How about Grand Rapids?
No.
There's industries in there. What do you mean? There's the cereal companies are there. Kellogg's and all the major cereal manufacturers are
The
there.
Red Wings will never allow that.
So you think Columbus would allow a team more?
Because Cincinnati's near Kentucky.
Okay.
Red Wings is why Hamilton, Ontario never got a team because Toronto and Buffalo, they in between. Yep, you're right about that.
This is another one. I can see maybe Bettman trying to stick it to the media. How about adding a team in Orlando?
They'll never do that.
They already have Tampa and the Panthers.
Tampa will not allow that. Tampa is the main team in that state.
The main team?
Yeah. For hockey, yes. Everybody looks at the Florida Panthers as a bunch of bandwagon fans. Tampa has been there. They are more popular in Tampa than the Buccaneers.
You know what? I've been a hardcore Panthers fan my whole life. But I see what you're saying. The majority of the fan base, it's hard to build a ingrown fan base for teams in Florida because all the transplants. I'm surprised Tampa has had a long-lasting fan base like they have.
Because they won Stanley Cups. That's the main reason. That's the main reason. They've been to how many this century?
They've been
they've been to 5. They won 3.
I thought they won 3.
They did. They've been to 5. They won 3. They lost to the Colorado, and they lost to Chicago.
Yeah, that wasn't the Chicago one the rookie year for Stamkos' rookie year or something like that?
No, Stamkos was already in the league.
Huh?
Stamkos was drafted in 2009. So Kyle Connor scores 3. So you're ahead of me. That's right. So Kyle Connor makes it 3-1 Winnipeg. What I'm gonna say for you, yeah, Tampa is crazy, and that tells you about the Buccaneers that you let the Lightning be the main team in that city.
And they don't really care. And in general, I don't think Tampa really cares about the Rays either.
No, they don't.
Because I think the majority of that area are Yankees fans, and Boston fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's how South Florida is too. We have a lot of Islanders, Rangers,
Canadiens,
Canadiens.
Everybody from the Northeast. When they play the Panthers, they own half the stadium.
So you think even with the Panthers winning a Stanley Cup, the visiting team is going to dominate?
Yeah, they do. I see it every night. More of their fans are in the stadium, in the arena. Yeah, bro. People in South Florida don't even like that team.
So you think so when if Bettman retires, do you think the next owner might move Florida to Quebec?
Yeah, I know the call-ups are coming up tonight, Moss. I know. I'm excited to see that later tonight. Say about Quebec.
Well, what I'm saying, even with the success of Florida winning a Stanley Cup, do you think the next commissioner might move Florida to Quebec City?
No, because Florida draws well. They run their management good. What Florida got to do is do what Tampa Bay has done. You have to make your team bigger than the Dolphins in that time.
And I think that's what's gonna. I think
And takes two more Stanley Cups, and you'll be bigger than the Dolphins.
Honestly, 3 more Stanley Cups.
No, 2 more. Because the Dolphins have been trashed the last 40 years.
Is California, is Florida going to be the first state to maybe have two possible teams maybe having 3 Stanley Cups, or did Pennsylvania already have that, or New York, or
Nobody's had that.
I thought
Tyson Berry's up too. Okay.
Oh, so the California teams only have won 2 Stanley Cups between them?
3. Kings won 2 and Anaheim won 1.
I thought San Jose has won a Stanley Cup.
They never won a Stanley Cup. Nope.
Do you think that's what's going to hurt Jumbo Joe and Joe Pavelski, Perry, and Thornton going into Hall of Fame as first ballots because those teams didn't win anything?
I think Joe Thornton will get in first ballot. I don't think Pavelski. Alberta, both teams won cups. California Ducks and Kings.
Alberta?
That's
Calgary?
Edmonton.
How many? Wait, I know Edmonton has 5 or 6, right?
5.
How many does Calgary have?
1. Speaking of that, Moss, did you hear that in 2 years, when the salary cap goes up to over $100 million, that the players, I know the Islanders. I don't really count the Rangers. I count the Devils more. But did you hear that it's going to go back to the 1990s, which is not good.
What does that mean?
In the 1990s, certain teams had to blow up their team because they couldn't afford the players. Calgary, to me, was number 1 on that list. That they had nothing for superstars, young in their careers, they won the Stanley Cup together, but because their owner at the time couldn't afford to pay the big stars, they all left.
You think that might happen to Florida?
No, Florida's going to be the team. Florida, Nashville, Tampa, Dallas, Seattle. Those are the teams that are going to benefit because players are going to go want to play where they don't have to pay no taxes.
Oh, so no tax states, basically?
Yeah, those teams are going to prosper. Yeah.
So the Southeast.
It was like Dallas in the 90s. You want to know what helped Dallas? Moss will remember this. Every superstar player wanted to go to Dallas. You know why? No taxes. And they built a powerhouse.
I've heard good thing. How good was Joe Nieuwendyk?
In my opinion, one of the all-time greats. He won a ring in Calgary, a ring in Dallas, and a ring in the Devils.
Oh, he was on that Devils team with Brodeur?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. I think the Southern teams are going to benefit when they
the Nashvilles, the Floridas, the Tampas, Dallas again, and Seattle are going to benefit.
Actually, like you said, maybe when Arizona comes back, Arizona 2 and Atlanta not Atlanta. Yeah.
They got taxes in those places. I'm talking about the teams who in their state have no taxes. They're going to be the ones that benefit. Moss said a lot of clubs will never go close to one. Yeah, that's why Renton got traded Friday night because Colorado ain't going to do it. And that's going to hurt Colorado because back in the day, Colorado was a team that spent no expense to get stars out there.
So you think eventually they're going to have to trade Cale Makar?
No, they're going to sign. They're going to give him. They're only going to pay three players. McCarr, they paid the goalie and McKinnon. Everybody else they'll let go out their trade. Bedard got a goal tonight for the Blackhawks. Pittsburgh and Philly won cups. Yeah, but he's talking about three apiece, Moss. That's what Manzano asked. Who's won three apiece or more?
Yeah, and wait, I think Florida might be the first team. Maybe did Tampa three-peat or they only two-peated?
They only two-peated.
I think Florida might be
I
the
don't see
first team.
Florida. I don't see Florida winning two in a row.
You think they win two back-to-back? Then
I don't know about back-to-back. It's gonna be tough for them because the West is loaded.
Yeah, I don't see. I know they have superstars, but I don't think Edmonton is a very physical team. I think that's why they got tired by the end of that series with Florida beating wearing them down. Do you agree?
I don't know about that. I think the problem in that series is that clown goalie that you got. He was the one who let them back in. And if you haven't noticed, Bobrovsky doesn't look the same.
You think that got into his head?
Of course.
And do you think this kid might take over eventually? Spencer Knight?
He's been playing a lot lately.
you think what's it? Who's our GM? Dang it.
Billy Zito.
You think Zito trades him?
No, I think Zito.
No. Do you think he trades Bobrovsky?
No, he's gonna go out and get him a big time player.
And who do you think that big time player might be?
I have no idea. Ekholm, Hyman, Nurse, Perry, Draisaitl, Oilers got big boys too.
No, but when you looked at that series, I know Bobrovsky let them in, but by the time the end of that series, you saw how frustrated the Oilers got, where they had to resort to.
I don't know about that. Oilers won 3 in a row, down 3-0. I don't know what you was looking at.
Oh no, but remember the first.
That's why everybody loves the Oilers right now because they showed so much character against the Panthers.
No, but what I'm saying, when you looked at the first three, I understand they won 3 in a row. Was it games 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
But when you looked at the entirety of the series, taking away those 3 games, it seems like Florida dominated Game 7.
No, they didn't. They got lucky with 3 minutes left. What's his face? Reinhardt got that goal with 3 minutes left in the game. That wasn't no dominate Game 7.
Oh no! What I'm trying to say is, when you look at the entirety of the series, Florida. Do you think Florida was the one that got tired by the end of that series because of the amount of playoff games they had?
So what happened was this. In the first 3 games, me and Moss talked about this. Florida shocked Edmonton by showing Edmonton they can skate with them, which is very important. When you play the Oilers, you have to skate with them. You can't let them blow past you. Then in the next 3 games, what shocked Florida was Edmonton started playing their role players more, and they started winning. And that series was crazy. It was topsy turvy.
It was it was an ebb and flow series, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes, and give the Panthers credit. They deserve to win. You go pure adrenaline. Yep. Going for the Lord standing, you don't get tired. And you go pure adrenaline. That is facts. Those hockey players kill to win that Stanley Cup and get your name engraved on it forever.
Oh, yeah. What I was trying to say earlier when it came to the Panthers, what I'm saying is I think they're a 90s team playing in the 2000 in the 21st century. Do you agree? A team or do you think they're more of a like an old school 70s and 60s and 70s team playing in the 21st century?
The way they were built, they were like the Islanders of the 80s. Because the man who built the Panthers was from the Islanders. So he took the Islanders model and just took it to Florida.
Oh, Viola?
No. Bill Torrey. God bless his soul.
Do you think Bill Torrey gets like I know he's in the Hall of Fame, but do you think he gets overshadowed based
Nah,
on the
he doesn't get overshadowed. He gets his due.
Oh no, what I mean by overshadowed because there was GMs that had more personality than him in terms of who was the GM? Who's that GM? I can't remember if it was Montreal or Edmonton that had that really outgoing general manager and stuff like that that would always do the interviews.
The only guys who they want to talk to him, that's just the way it is.
Are hockey are would you say the hockey general manager like in terms of front office personnel, you don't really see a lot of hockey guys do major press conferences. You see that more in basketball and football and maybe
More
baseball.
football and baseball, yeah. Hockey. See, the thing with hockey, and Moss would agree with this. The beautiful thing about hockey is it is really a community. What I tell you before in the past, hockey, baseball, what thing they both have in common? Numbers puts you into the Hall of Fame, not rings. And hockey, of all the sports, baseball would be number two. I don't know how soccer does it in Europe, but hockey and baseball, they are a tight knit community, and 80%, 90% of their fan base is diehards. And
Oh,
that's what
you're
the NBA is casual. That's where the NBA is dying right
okay. You're also asking about soccer. The International Soccer Hall of Fame uh goes based off numbers into the hall. It's not one of like World Cups and championships are not one of the main factors. They look at the stats and the numbers and how the player changed the game at the time and stuff like that. That soccer, hockey, and baseball are more about numbers than the championships and stuff like that, and how the player evolved, like the player changed the game and stuff like that.
now. Moss says soccer don't do Hall of Famers.
Oh, I thought soccer had an International Soccer Hall of Fame.
Oh, I don't know. Moss is saying that. I don't follow soccer.
Oh no. That's why I'm asking Moss. Moss, I've always assumed soccer. There was an International Soccer Hall of Fame, unless I'm talking about boxing. Thinking of boxing that has a International Hall of Fame.
Yeah, those. Yeah. While the NBA, you see it now, is struggling because you have a sport full of generations of casuals, and if they don't get the type of teams they like, they tune out. That's why you hear them complain.
Was there ever a cross?
People will name all-time teams, all-decade teams. World Cup is what matters. Yep, he's right.
Okay, yeah. What was what was I gonna what I was gonna say? Would you say like in terms of how uh I know Muhammad Ali was a in your generation Muhammad Ali was the pop culture, the guy who crossed over into other things. Is there someone? Would you say Patrick Mahomes is this generation's version of Muhammad Ali, where he crosses over to other
Nah,
greens,
he's no soccer player. Gotta be a soccer player. Somebody like Messi is that
or
type of player.
or the pretty boy?
Nah, Messi.
But when I say the pretty boy, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, nah, Messi.
For tennis,
Everybody
it
around
was
the world wants to see Messi. He played
if
in Toronto, and it was sold out in Toronto just to see Messi play.
yeah. In tennis, it's Serena and is it Djokovic? Joker?
Tennis? Nah, they don't like neither one of those guys. People, Federer.
Oh, it's
When,
they
when
hate
Federer was playing,
Federer's the
Federer
fan
was
favorite.
yeah.
They hate Joker and Nadal.
They like Nadal. They don't like Djokovic.
Wait a minute. Wait, who do you hate more, Joker, Federer, or Nadal?
I can't stand Nadal. I respect Federer.
Oh, you respect Federer more than you respect Nadal?
Yeah.
I would say honestly, when I look at Nadal, the way he not the style of play, him causing issues with the umpire was he was basically this generation's version of John McEnroe, basically. You agree?
Djokovic was that way. Always complaining.
Oh, you think Joker's more McEnroe?
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah.
And is that one thing you hate about Joker?
No, I hate nothing about Djokovic. That's my boy. I hate nothing about it. Did he win Australia?
Yeah. Oh no, he lost.
He lost in Australia. Okay, he's old now.
He lost to that young Spanish kid that they're saying is going to replace Nadal. Alcantara or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That young
Alcaraz.
Yeah, that young punk.
Oh my God! I hope he doesn't become as annoying as Nadal.
Nadal wasn't annoying. The problem, you know who Nadal is in your sport? He's Neymar.
A flopper.
Yeah, he's Neymar.
When you look at, was there a guy in your generation that was like Nadal?
Who was like Nadal? People hated. People loved, but he had big rivalry. Center winner. Djokovic retired after he beat Alcaraz. Oh, he beat Alcaraz?
Oh, I thought he lost to Alcaraz.
Wow. Because he owned Australia. Joker owned Australia.
I think Joker, for me, Joker dominates in Australia. He's on and off at the U.S. Open. He dominates Wimbledon, I think.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. He dominates the grass courts, but he struggles on the clay.
Well, the last couple since 2015, I think he won 3 times in Roland Garros, including destroying Nadal in front of his own fans.
Yeah, no, but when you look at his record, I think he has a better record on grass than he
Oh
does
yeah, of
with.
course.
Is it just that his playing style is more suited to grass?
Yes.
Who is more? Would you say Federer's playing style was more of a clay court, like those hard court?
I think Federer had problems on clay too. So
Or was
did
that more Nadal?
Sampras. Sampras couldn't win in Roland Garros, but Djokovic.
Wait, am I missing? Is Wimbledon the clay? who are the hard courts? Is it Wimbledon and
Wimbledon
the
and Wimbledon's grass, Australia's hard court, and the U.S. Open is hard court.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. In general, I think he struggled. I don't know what it is. He dominates Australia, but why does he struggle on the U.S. Open then?
All right, Djokovic did not win Australia. This kid Yannick Sinner, who's now the number one player in the world, he beat that guy Alexander Zverev to win Australia.
Is he the next? Is this kid that you're talking about? Is he around the same country where Joker is from?
Yeah.
So do you think America is ever going to have a dominant tennis player again?
Nope.
Maybe in a female game, but not in.
Yeah, maybe the women, but not in the men.
Because honestly, I think Coco might be the next generation of dominant tennis player.
She could be. I hope so. I really do.
Were you a big fan of Lindsay Davenport or not really?
No, but I respected her though.
But you did you respected her, but you were never like a big you didn't like her playing style, or
Yeah, she was too fat.
wasn't she the one? I can't remember. There was it was her. It was either her or someone that retired Steffi Graf that everybody hated.
That was Celis.
Oh, Monica Seles. Is that why someone stabbed her?
Yeah, and that's sad because she was way. Let me tell you something. Celis was so good. The Williams sisters would never have existed. That's how dominant she was.
So if Monica was still going around, you don't think Serena would be as dominant?
Shit. She would be another worse. That's how great Celis was. You also got to remember this. Hingis was turned out to be the best, but what you call it? She had fasciitis, and that hurt her career. And I'm not taking nothing away from Serena Williams, folks. I'm just saying that she had a lot of competition in the mid '90s when she became on tour.
Was Steffi? Do you think Steffi Graf gets overrated by her fans a little bit?
I think Steffi Graf is forgotten.
Huh?
She's forgotten.
Why do you say that?
Because of Williams' dominance. Williams was that dominant. As a matter of fact, I gotta do this show now that we got locked down. I put Serena Williams number 2 greatest athlete of all.
So you think it? Do you think the playing style that Monica had would have caused serious issues for Serena?
None of those women would have touched Celis if she never got stabbed in the back. None of them. None of them.
Who was the one that we always talked about that was very robotic? Is that Hingis? Like the female? Who's the female tennis player that we always said was very robotic in terms of how she did her interviews that had no personality?
No, I forgot who that was. Hingis had personality.
It's not. It's a person from where Maria Sharapova was from. My God, it was another Russian tennis player.
Koneska? She had no personality.
Kornikova. Anna Kornikova.
Kornikova had personality. What are you talking about? She had Sergei Fedorov chase her around the world. Let me see what Moss is saying. Center, Northern Italy, too ugly. Steffi won everything. Serena could have beat some men pros. I can't say that about any other woman. Sharapova,
Honestly, I think Salas, if she, I think Salas would have been able to do that too. I think she would have been able to dominate Sampras or Agassi. I think that's how good Salas was before that incident. Moss.
she was so good. She made the grunts popular in tennis.
So the grunts that Serena does, both Venus and Serena do are something that Celis did before.
Yes, Salas was the one, the original grunts.
What was the point of that? I've always wondered what the point.
Oh, I don't know. Kornikova was limited to find rich husbands go accomplish check.
Yeah, she basically ruins Sergei's career, right?
You're damn right she did.
Did you say half of his teammates were looking at him like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah, Pavel especially.
Oh,
Pavel
Datsuk.
No. Burry. That was his boy. Burry and McGillney. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Yeah, Moss is saying in the chat. Sellers was screaming. Yeah, I see Moss loved that shit.
Is her name spelled with an S or a C?
Sellers was the perfect tennis player, bro.
No, what I was asking before was Celis. Do you think I know Serena was dominant, but you said if she was around this at this time, Serena wouldn't have been as dominant. Are you saying her style would be a horrible matchup for Serena?
Yeah, because she was that dominant, Tony. When you're dominant, no one's gonna touch you.
Serena was dominant too.
Yeah, but what happened if Sellers was around? I don't see it.
Okay.
Moss, let me ask you a question. If Sellers never got stabbed in the 1990s, does anyone touch Sellers in the 1990s? Wait for his answer. Man,
Were you a big fan of Borg?
no, I ain't like none of those guys.
Oh, you hated Bjorn Borg?
I ain't hate them. I just didn't care for them. My guys was Sampras, Jim Courier, Michael Chang. I like the American guys in the 90s.
I've never heard of. Can you tell me about Jim Carrier?
Jimmy Courier,
Yeah.
he was a good player. Uh, he could have been better, but he liked the lifestyle a little bit too much.
He was a Johnny Manziel of tennis.
Nah, he wasn't like that. Just a guy that was a damn good player, but other guys were better. Like, for example, he would beat Sampras, but he'll have problems with Agassi. But again, that was fun. That was fun tennis. No, tennis
Oh,
now.
Moss just answered you.
I know what Moss is saying. Moss is saying that even if Sellers didn't get hurt, Serena would have got her titles. Yeah, probably in the 21st century she would have got them. Yeah.
Jim Curry won a couple of U.S. Opens and a French Open.
Hey, Curry's a good player. He's not no scrub. That's when the Americans dominated tennis in the 90s. They had a good young core. They haven't been back since. Sampras was the man. Hell yeah, just couldn't win in fucking rolling down.
Honestly, for me, I gravitated more towards Sampras. I couldn't stand Agassi. I couldn't stand him.
I couldn't stand him at first, but then I figured him out. I read his book and I figured him out.
How did you figure out Andre?
Because he's about image. And when you're about image, you have to show some flamboyancy. He did. Plus, one thing about Agassi I did love about him, if he didn't really want to be there, he'll quit early in the match. You know.
He would basically like tune everything out.
Yeah.
Marchand goal.
Andre Agassi, Djokovic, that piece of crap in the dome, and Fed, the only 4 tennis players and Rod Laver to ever win the 4 Grand Slams.
How many? Wait, I thought Sampras won a Grand Slam.
He never won in Roland Garros. He never won in Paris. That's why he doesn't get the respect.
Between Pete and Andre, who do you think would have given Joker the most problems?
No. Let me tell you this way. Djokovic and I'll put Nadal in there. Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer would dominate Sampras and those guys. It won't even be no competition.
When I look, no, in terms of the style of like their style of play, you don't think Agassi's style of play or Sampras would? It seems like Sampras was more of a technical player. Do you agree?
Yes.
And I think that's why what is it called? I think Roland Garros needs, as a tennis player, you need to be less tactical and more aggressive at Roland Garros. I think his style of play benefited more the Australian and U.S. Open. Do you agree?
Which guy?
Sampras.
He loved Emily.
But do you agree with me? His tactical style of tennis is more suited towards U.S. Open or Australian. You agree?
For who? 1-0 Capitals. Pierre-Luc Dubois with the goal.
Pete. Pete. No, Pete.
No, Pete was grass, man. He choked it in Wimbledon. He choked it.
Oh, so he won a few U.S. He was good at the Australian and
U.S.
But he was more dominant at Wimbledon.
Yeah, and he couldn't win shit in Roland Garros.
Which is weird. He's great on one grass court, but he couldn't. He didn't play well in France in Roland Garros.
Other players didn't do it. Like Nadal said, I mean not Nadal. Like Djokovic said, he said, "I have to beat him in Garros for people to know that I am as good as I am," and he did. He swept Nadal so bad Nadal quit, that piece of shit.
Who was the most dominant tennis player at Roland Garros, you think?
It was him. It was Nadal. Federer only won there once, and I hate to say this, he won when Nadal wasn't there.
I think, and I feel bad for Fed a little bit. His injuries caught up later in his career. He got injured a few times.
Yes, he did.
Later.
He did. But he was getting old, though.
And I think his style of play caught up, like, the way he plays. It seems like the tactical players last a lot longer in tennis. Like, because they're not relying on athleticism that much.
You're right. Nadal relied on athleticism. That's why he burnt out.
And that's
Don't
what
ever say,
happened to
don't ever
Nadal
say,
too, right?
yeah. I'm talking about Nadal. He burnt out because he had bad fasciitis. Yeah, it burnt him out. Yeah. Don't ever say a bad word to Chris Russo about Federer.
Jesus,
And
Chris.
he hates Nadal. I will put Nadal for Chris Russo right next to Billy B.
Wait, who does he hate more, Billy or Rafael? Rafa.
Oh, of course, Billy B.
No one's close to Billy.
Rafa Nadal, and of course, your buddies with the Yankees. He can't stand
Lon
Randy Levine.
Prost.
He cannot stand Randy Levine.
The two weasels.
Yeah, the 2 weeks.
Are those Cashman's flunkies or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. I laugh, but back to the tennis. Um, these three was the best I've ever seen.
To me, I think the only old school tennis player that would give serious problems to maybe Joker was Bjorn, because Bjorn is basically the same style of player.
Could be, but you gotta remember one thing. Hey, Melina, you gotta remember one thing. The guys of the '90s were good. The problem was, um, they kept beating each other.
They beat on each other all the time.
Yeah, that's how dominant they were. Arsenal, Man City game. Okay, Melina's to London again. Have safe travels, love. Right afterwards, he's flying to London to see Arsenal on Sunday. She loves that Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah. Ma said Bjorn did it all, and he made it look easy. Do you agree with him on that?
Boy, you like Beyond Board, really? You know, Beyond Board, what did he get in there? I'll tell you a guy who was good, who is forgotten, of course. I know he's back in tennis now as a coach for so many of these young players. I think he's with Coco Golf, I think. Is Yvonne Linder.
No,
Yvonne is a robot. He's
no,
a robot.
that's yeah, that's between Lindell. Like, if you look, taking away like the arrows are different on how tennis is played. Looking at his style, both of their styles in their prime, if they were in this era of tennis with Joker and Nadal and Federer, who would cause more issues for Joker? Who would cause more issues for Rafa? And who would cause more issues for Roger?
Moore said Linder was his guy. He won outside. He won the Aussie in the U.S. Open. Yeah, a lot of guys didn't win the French. I don't know.
In terms of the style they played.
Maybe Linder, because Linder, I'll take Linder over Gordon any day of the week.
No, you know the reason why I bring up Borg all the time? Because my friend's uncle was a huge Bjorn Borg fan and stuff like that. And he would talk about him like he was the best thing since sliced bread.
He was good in the '80s. And God bless the dead, my guy, Vito Giolitis. Buddy of mine used to go out to his house in Long Island and party with football.
Who's Giolitis?
He's from the '80s. Moss knows who he is. Lindo needed the better serve. Yeah, I think he's with Coco Golf now, Lindo.
Yeah. He coaches some of the young American players too, men's players too. I forgot the name of the kid. He's a really tall tennis player for the Americans. Uh, I forgot what is it. Tyler something. You know, he's like 6'7" or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Walter
talking about?
Loma's landlord, I love he was all forehand like Moss. There you go. Leaders like to party. Hell yeah. My boys used to go to the parties, I swear to God. My boy said, "You want to go to this tennis player's house?" I said, "Nah, I'm not going." I find out Venus Sterilitis. I'm like, shit, I should have went with him. And AC said he was the nicest guy in the world. God bless his soul.
Is Vetus very like? Was he like oh, very flamboyant?
Yes, he was a fun guy. He was a party animal. What about Draper?
A Draper, this hockey player.
I don't think he's talking about the hockey player. He's talking about somebody from the tennis world. But yeah, Venus was a cool guy. And my boy too. My boy used to always, whenever he was at the U.S. Open, he would go to the U.S. Open. He would give him free tickets. McEnroe was like Venus could party more than anyone. Johnny
And
Mac was a hell of a player. It's a shame that his personality overshadowed his greatness.
yeah, yeah. So when you look at Vetus, who would who do you compare him to in another sport like baseball or hockey in terms of personality?
Venus Carolinas?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Ben
Well,
Shelton.
Ben Shelton.
Oh, you're gonna answer my question about Vetus?
What about Venus?
Oh no, what I was asking.
So I'm gonna ask you the question right now. See, a lot of these players like to hide their shit today. But if I had to compare him to somebody,
Not tennis player in another sport.
I know in another sport, I'm trying to see Travis Kelsey.
Oh, Vetus is like Travis.
Yeah, Kelsey likes to party all the time. Strawberry and Venus.
You know who Vetus reminds me in hockey? He's Matthew Kachuk, basically.
All right, Andrew Magnapani getting a rising standing ovation his first game back in Calgary. Fans giving him a rousing standing ovation. Welcome home. Very
Are you
welcome.
doing another show tomorrow? I have to jump off real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm going to bed. Go ahead.
Bye.
Good night, man. Thanks for coming. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Winnipeg is about to win tonight, so Mr. Miami is down. Moss, I'll see you. I don't know when I'm gonna come up to your room, but I'm gonna do Royal Rumble on Saturday, but I'm gonna be off for a couple of days. So for everybody, enjoy. We'll have a good Super Bowl week next week. I'll be back for Royal Rumble Saturday evening, 6:30 Eastern, 6:45 Eastern. I'll be on here. Venus, a combo between Kelsey and Sean and Ron. Let me get out of here. Good night from the Oasis, everybody. Good night, CK. Corner. Good.